against who a petition has been laid before the National Assembly. Well, it's a plan, but the Deputy Governor no doubt sees it as a plot to remove him. And he has taken everybody to court. When I say everybody, I'm talking about he's taken the governor to court, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, the House of Assembly itself, the government of Ondo State itself. So it's something of a saga, quite frankly. And so we thought we'd look in there to see exactly what's going on. And we have with us the counsel to the Ondo State House of Assembly, Mr. Femi Emodamori, as our guest this morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Emodamori.
Good morning, Mr. Yori, and thanks for the privilege to have me.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much. Just before we go, we have a package, a little package. Let's look at that so you get a better idea, get a better feel for this scenario going on. Some are calling it a plan, some are calling it a plot. You get a feel. Look at this.
These are some concerned indigents of Ondo State who are disturbed with the current political situation in the state. They marched to the premises of the State House of Assembly, urged the lawmakers to shelve the ongoing impeachment process against the Deputy Governor, Lucky Ayedatiwa.
I want to encourage every party to please be at peace. Let peace reign in the state. We trust God to step into the situation so that the state can be calm. Because every other neighboring states are a kind of envying the state.
We are here to advocate for peace in the state, because Ondo State has been known to be a peaceful state.
Also, another group under the aegis of concerned youth staged a protest to support the impeachment process. They urge the lawmakers not to allow any group to distract them from doing the needful.
This is the people's parliament. This parliament belongs to Ondo State. It does not belong to Lucky Ayedatiwa. And the parliament has the backing of the people to carry out its constitutional function. We are saying that the democratic system should be maintained.
In a related development, some former lawmakers on the platform of the All Progressive Congress (APC) urged the State Assembly to be careful with the impeachment of the Deputy Governor.
Fishy about the process. We believe the House of Assembly should rise above every reproach, and it's very unfortunate that impeachment proceeding is their priority.
Our primary constituency, which is the House of Assembly, that they should be more careful. They should not allow themselves to be used. They should look at their constitution.
Also, a group of politicians under the aegis of Atulushi asked the Assembly to exercise caution and desist from setting the state on fire.
On those state people were ejected into again, that word in capital letter again, within the space of 2 terms. The first tenure ended impeachment and crisis. On those state people suffered the same fate. Again, another round of impeachment.
Meanwhile, a federal high court sitting in Abuja has sustained the state's House of Assembly for proceeding with the impeachment of the Deputy Governor. Ayodeji Moradeyo, TVC News, Akure.
Okay, so you get some idea of the situation that we're in Ondo State. As I was saying, just about everybody has been sued in the place, not just the governor, also the Speaker of the House of Assembly, this clerk of the House of Assembly. Whoever can be sued has been sued, and the prayer is that matters not be allowed to degenerate to the extent of the wish of the petition or the petitioners as it is before the State House of Assembly. And that is that they should not be able to remove him. He was elected on a joint ticket with the governor. So that's the situation. I introduced earlier Mr. Emodamori. Again, good morning to you, and thank you for coming on. Now, it's quite a situation, isn't it? It's quite a situation. And let me just start off with finding out, generally, are you concerned for security at all. Well, and by the way, I should say that Mr. Emodamori is counsel to the Ondo State House of Assembly. Just that little clip that we showed there are concerns that this might degenerate into a breach of the peace. Give me your thoughts on that matter before we come down to the specifics of the case. In other words, what is the state of security in Ondo State as a result of this action?
Well, I need to emphasize that I'm not a security expert in the state. I'm a legal consultant, I'm a legal expert. But then, as a resident of the state, I can assure you that everything is okay. You have political moves here and there, you know. Some may say sponsored, I wouldn't say so. But then they are just the normal thing you see when you have an impeachment proceeding going on, you know. People for and against have the right of freedom of expression. But I can assure you, there's absolutely no fear of security breach. My clients, the members of the State of Assembly, are not under any security threat in any way. And then I'm sure the security agencies in the state are on top of the situation. There's nothing to worry about.
Okay, that's, quite good to hear. Now, what exactly, for those who might have been living in some remote place, what exactly is the principal offense? Because gross misconduct really is what you can grab hold of from the petition. How so? That's the charge against the deputy governor. Gross misconduct, and upon that, they would wish him impeached.
Well, you see, the phrase gross misconduct comes up again and again and again, because by virtue of Section 188, subsection 11 of the Constitution, if you read that together with Section 188, subsection 1, the allegation that must culminate in the removal or attempted removal of the office holder of the governorship or deputy governorship is generally classified as gross misconduct. You then begin to look at what constitutes gross misconduct. So constitutionally, impeachable offenses are defined or are classified under allegations of gross misconduct. You look at Section 188, subsection 1, for instance, talking about the commencement of the proceeding for impeachment, stating that when the speaker receives a notice of allegation of gross misconduct from at least 1/3 of the members of the State of Assembly alleging the holder of the office, then the procedure is kickstarted. So gross misconduct, what is the definition? Well, you have the definition in Section 188, subsection 11 of the Constitution, and it is defined as a grave violation of the provisions of the Constitution or such conduct as in the opinion of the State House of Assembly. That's a subjective test. As in the opinion of the State House of Assembly amounts to a gross misconduct. Fortunately, Yori, we have been in this murky water several times in this country. The Supreme Court had reasons to define expand the definition of that gross misconduct again and again. You find a very useful help in the case of Attorney General of the Federation against Atiku Abubakar. That was in 2007. It was reported in part 1041 of the Nigeria Weekly Report. And then you go to the case of Inakoju against Adeleke, reported in part 1025 of the Nigeria Weekly Report. You have Abaribe against Abia State of Assembly, reported in part 788. In almost all the cases, the courts are unanimous that the issue of gross misconduct is in the absolute discretion of power of the State House of Assembly. Don't forget, Section 188, subsection 11 defines gross misconduct to mean a grave violation of the provisions of the Constitution or such misconduct as in the opinion of the State House of Assembly amounts to gross misconduct. So, without being sentimental here, largely what amounts to gross misconduct is in the subjective test of the State House of Assembly, but you must have real provable allegations, not fabricated allegations. And so, in the instant case, good enough, the State House of Assembly has officially released the notice of allegation of gross misconduct, and in the notice you find 14 specific allegations. And then if you look at the allegations, you find allegations of abuse of, office to enrich oneself, that is corruption, misappropriation of funds, allegations that certain sums of money were requested to make certain projects but then were not spent. You have allegation that millions of naira, for instance, was requested by His Excellency the Deputy Governor to travel to Ondo, which is about probably 2.5 hours maximum here from Akure, and then you find the traveling expenses, fueling expenses running to about 5 million. Allegation, no doubt about that. You have allegations of about 100 million naira misappropriated the magistrate emergency fund. So these are realms of allegation, but the truth is this. Prima facie, based on the first impression, if we are desirous of fighting corruption in this country, if we want to activate the provision of Section 15, subsection 5 of the Constitution that states that the state must abolish all corrupt practices and abuse of power, then, sentiment apart, you have to agree that there is a need to call the holder of the office to explain his own side of the story.
Indeed.
So, let me say that, like I said, I can't go to the detail, but you have 14 specific allegations.
That's fine. And that's fine.
Dealing with it. And the allegation, the notice was served on His Excellency the Deputy Governor on the 25th.
Okay, because there was an argument about whether or not he had been duly served. As you know, the Deputy Governor had said that he had not received any service of any instrument, any court instrument. But you are asserting now that indeed he has been. Well, I was also reading in the paper that he was served by something you lawyers call substituted means. So he has been served.
Well, Mr. Yori, let me confirm first and foremost that he has been served and duly served in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. Section 188, subsection 2, paragraph B of the Constitution mandates the Speaker of the House of Assembly to serve the holder of the office whose conduct have been investigated within 7 days after receiving the notice of allegation of misconduct. Of course, it's in the public domain now, but the Speaker in the plenary session of the House on 20th received the notice of allegation, and it was served on the holder of the office on 25th. That is within 7 days.
Okay.
We talk about what lawyers call a partner service and substituted service. Well, the truth is this. We have had again and again and again interpretation of personal service. Personal service, or if you mandate somebody to take a process, or somebody takes a process and gives it to you personally, it is still personal service. As against publishing it in the newspaper or pasting it on the wall of your office or your house or your residential apartment, whichever way. So we have had, fortunately, definitions of personal and substituted service. Let me digress a little bit before we actually hit whether the Constitution actually stipulates what people are saying. But fortunately, we have had the apex court of the land defining or interpreting personal service to also include a situation where Mr. B took the process without the instruction on behalf of Mr. A and later hands it over to Mr. A. In the case of court proceedings, for instance, there is nothing making it mandatory for the process server of the court to be the one who hands it over personally to the one to be served. I'm talking of judicial decisions. If you serve somebody personally and that somebody hands it over personally to the person to be served, the judicial authority is that is personal service. You didn't see it in the news.
All right. Thank you very much. I didn't want to split hairs on this.
Don't give me a minute. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Having said that, there is nowhere in the provisions, the entire provision of Section 188, subsection 1 to 9, where it is specifically stated that the holder of the office must put his own hand on the document and append his signature as the receiver. Because if it were so, it's so easy. When I'm supposed to be served within 7 days, all I need to do is that the moment I know the speaker has received the notice, then I'll just, I'll just append and then return after the 7 days. So, the truth is that we sometimes import what we call personal service using the rules of court. That is court proceedings.
All right. Thank you very much.
Import the rules of court into the legislative process of serving the notice. But whether you use the rules of court here or whichever way you look at it, he has been personally served. Right. And I will let you know that, in fact, the receiver of the process satisfied the speaker that he was instructed by His Excellency, the Deputy Governor, to personally receive and then bring it over to him because he has not been in the office. So, and then we had to ensure that that statement, that representation is contained in an affidavit. So we have followed meticulously the process.
So quite
stipulated.
Thank you very much for all of that, explaining it to us. But just to round off before coming back to you, all of the charges of gross misconduct, as you explained, in a sort of a detailed way, all of them stem from when the deputy governor served as the acting governor when the governor was away on medical leave, right? That's when all of these instances of gross misconduct appear to have occurred.
Well, Mr. Yori, that is not entirely correct because you have some of the allegations dating back to what was approved even by His Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, for the Deputy Speaker before he even proceeded on medical leave. What was approved to be disbursed for certain things, which is now being alleged, please, still allegation, that the Deputy Governor misappropriated. So it's not entirely correct. And then that particular head of allegation had to do with money running to close to 500 million.
Okay.
So it's not entirely correct that everything happened when he was the acting governor. There are some processes, allegations of misconduct or misappropriation that days back, or the processes started when the governor was still around, approved, but then in between, the money is alleged to have disappeared into the thin air. So, like I said, these are just in the realms of allegation, but then these are allegations calling for explanation in every decent society without sentiment.
Okay. It's just, I just note in passing that it wasn't always like this. Mr. Lucky Ayedatiwa and Mr. Governor were in excellent terms at a certain point in time in the past. But things have gone, south, as they say. Okay, as it is, Mr. Governor Akeredolu is in the country. He's resumed from his medical leave, but he's not yet in the state of Ondo. He's operating from outside of the state. Meetings have been convened, going over to where he is for these meetings. So I just mentioned all of that. You probably agree to all of that. That sort of adds some other color to this, should I call it a saga or an imbroglio that we're looking at? But I just wanted to, for whoever has not been local, to understand that what is going on here, we'll try and understand it, but we must try and understand it in a legal way for now. Now, let me introduce my other guest this morning, Mr. G.T. Ogunye. He's a well-known constitutional lawyer as well as global affairs analyst. Thank you very much, G.T., for making time available for us this morning. And
Thanks for inviting.
Thank you very much. Yes. It was important for me to say you are invited. You are a constitutional lawyer because we want to explore some aspects. The challenge that we might have in the political sphere in this country is that the office of the deputy governor, in fact, deputy anything, even deputy president, has always been a bit problematic because it appears that, forgive my crudity of language, their principals have oftentimes seen them as the proverbial spare tire. Does the, in this case, the deputy governor of Ondo State, does he have any functions? Because it was a joint ticket, and he's pursuing his matter based on that, look, it's a joint ticket with Governor Akeredolu. You cannot remove me. It's just not proper. So I wanted to seek your opinion on this vexatious question.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I think that I have to start by saying that Nigeria is a constitutional democracy, and that we're still growing. A number of people opine that vis-a-vis other countries, it's yet morning. Although some people have also said that we should leave the stage of nascence, because too often to explain away irresponsible behavior. We're told that it's just a nascent democracy and all that. Now, what we try to do as a country, and we must go back to that, just as a foundational appreciation, 1979 was a departure from the Westminster model of government. Under the Westminster model of government, it's possible to have a prime minister and a deputy prime minister, both of whom are colleagues and parliamentarians. So, on the same pedestal, now transmitting to perform executive functions. So if there's no vote of confidence, they come back to the House until another election is conducted. Under the executive presidency, which is modeled after the American presidential system of government, the governor or the president is the chief executive. The deputy governor or the vice president is just an appendage brought in so that if anything happens to the president or the governor, then he can fill the vacuum. So virtually all the powers, therefore, even constitutionally, are in the hands of either the president or the governor. So since 1999, therefore, we've been having these problems between deputy governors and governor. In Lagos State, we had it. Now the president, then as a governor, he had about 3 deputy governors in an 8-year period. Okay? There was a problem with the first and then the second. And in other states, we've been having that kind of problem. In Oyo State, Laloja had that problem. Akala came in. And it's been like that. As we're speaking, there's also something like that in Edo State.
Yes.
And as a precursor, the Edo State governor went to court and came back like a prodigal son and said, I'm sorry, you are my governor, and all that. But the point I'm making is that we may have to rethink those provisions governing, because it does appear that we've been having problems, regarding the relationship, official relationship between the number 1 citizen of a state or a country and the number 2 citizens. So, that said, what I see play out, in those states, I don't want to discuss the details because the matter is sub judice in a sense, but the broad principles of the Constitution, constitutional principles and legal principles here. The first is that our courts repeatedly have said that under Section 188 of the Constitution, a deputy governor, and I'm referring to the case of Baribe, governor of their state, per 788 Nigerian Weekly Law Report, which was cited by the House of Assembly of Ondo State in response to this latest court injunction, that you can't rush to court in matters like this too often. The power of judicial review that is granted to our court is to review, not to impede an arm of government from functioning. So it is not possible, therefore, to casually, albeit, claiming to exercise judicial powers, injunct a legislative duty. An arm of government cannot do that in that manner. And that's why, if the legislature is considering a bill, for example, the court is not supposed to interfere and say, don't consider that bill. It can only wait. And then when the law is passed, the law is taken to review it. These aspects are unconstitutional. This aspect should be nullified, and so on and so forth. And the court will do that. So it comes later, not at the beginning.
I hear you.
That is the broad issue.
That's the broad understanding one needs to have.
Otherwise, government will not be able to function. That at the drop of the hat, somebody dashes to court and says, injunct them. Particularly a legislature. And In the same vein also, if a matter is before a court, the legislature will not touch it. Some people, for example, when they want to dodge legislative oversight, they go to court first. And the court says, oh, the matter is now in court. We wait. So that principle is broad, is understood, and that's why when I see, either in this case or in other cases, people dashing to court like that, I say, what do you want to do? Wait. And then go through that process and all that. That's the number one principle. We may thresh this out, we may elaborate on it later and all that.
We certainly will flesh it out a bit, but I've got to go on a break now. So thank you very much, Mr. G.T. Ogunye, for giving us that broad overview, as he said. Still with us is Mr. Femi Emodamori. Please stay with us. We'll take a break. We'll be right back, and we'll also get your reaction.
Dark marks, I've tried everything. Nivea Lumina 630 works from day one with visible results in just 2 weeks and 71% dark marks reduction in 12. Join the 1 million women already using Lumina 630 from Nivea.
Okay, welcome back, and we have something of a saga, a legal saga going on in Ondo State, and it's all, purportedly based on the law. So we've got to try and understand it from that point of view. The first thing to probably know from a point of view of the ordinary layman is that the embattled deputy governor has sued not just the governor but also the State House of Assembly. He sued the speaker himself. He sued the clerk. He's even sued the chief judge of Ondo State to just make sure that you can't do what you, from his point of view, are purporting to do. You can't initiate proceedings against me. It's a joint ticket with Governor Akeredolu. Now, if you're still there, Mr. Emodamori, okay, you just heard, what our in-studio guest, a learned colleague of yours, has said. Would you like to come back with anything by way of helping he's given broad outlines without referring to any particular aspect going on in Ondo State. Would you like to come back on that? We're looking for understanding here.
Mr. Yori, thank you for that. Before I come to that specific issue, or someone having rushed to the court to secure an injunction, or reportedly rushed to the court to secure an injunction because my clients have not been served any order to that, let me quickly lay a foundation. Because I know many out there are going to say, look, the matter is in court, it's sub judice, you are discussing it, it's a foundation of the ethics. Let me lay the proper foundation, because that is a very crucial issue to be addressed in this context. In the case of Kalu against Federal Republic of Nigeria, it was reported in 2014, Volume 1 Nigeria Weekly Report, Part 1389. Precisely, I remember page 525 of the report. His Lordship Eko, who is now a Justice of the Supreme Court, stated something fundamental about whether you can still discuss a matter that is in public domain or that is in court. And he said, and I quote, "I know that it is commonly supposed that once a writ is issued, it puts a stop to discussion. If anyone wants to canvass the matter in the press or in the public, it cannot be permitted. It is said to be sub judice. It is said to be sub judice, and then he said that is a total misconception, and that the sooner that is corrected, the better. That if it is a matter of public interest, it can be discussed at large without anyone thereby being in fear of contempt of court. Criticism can be made and repeated, and that fair criticism does not prejudice fair trial." End of quote. Now, permit me to go to the very absurd aspect of this impeachment proceeding here. The Honorable Speaker of the House of Assembly received the impeachment notice, the allegation, on the 20th in the plenary. His Excellency the Deputy Governor rushed to the Federal High Court Abuja on the 21st, just a day after, without even being served, without even waiting to know what is being alleged of. He went to the Federal High Court in Abuja, and what we are told is that a certain judge has granted an ex parte injunction, purportedly restraining the State House of Assembly or whoever they think is involved from going ahead. That is a clear violation of the provision of Section 188, Subsection 10 of the Constitution. And the provision of the Constitution clearly states, please, for the benefit of Nigeria, let us read so that we know what we are doing here. Say, look, no proceeding or determination of the panel or of the House of Assembly or any matter relating to such proceeding or determination shall be entertained or questioned in any court. Now you ask me, but people have always rushed to the court and they've always gone to the court to get to quash impeachment proceedings. His lordships in the case of Inakoju against Adeleke, that is the Ladoja case, clearly, look, if the House of Assembly in the case of the governor or deputy governor, or the National Assembly in the case of the president or the vice president, clearly, meticulously follow the provision of Section 188, subsection 1 to 9, no court, as stated in subsection 10, has the power to intervene. It is only when there are clear breaches of the law that the court may intervene. Now, His Excellency has not even been sacked. The notice was initiated by 11 members of the House, more than the 1/3 required. He didn't wait to be served. The law says he should be served within 7 days. You rush to court the following day that you have not been served, so it's a violation of your rights. And then I've just seen another suit filed by my very respected colleague, a very good friend. I have a lot of respect for him, the learned Senator Akeredolu Gurua. And I've read the processes. His alleged violation of his own right to fair hearing. He has not been served. It is in the social media. When Section 188, subsection 2, paragraph B says you should be served within 7 days. And it's not even yet 7 days. And the allegation that His Excellency at first went into, deliberately, went into, I don't want to use any demeaning language, avoided until he realized the need to have it, to get it. Now, without even waiting for the 7 days, you rush to court that your right is being violated. And I'm happy Mr. G.T. Ogunwoye dissected that appropriately, even the case of Abaribe against Abia State House of Assembly. In that case, Abaribe's case, precisely page 505 of the report, his lordships of the Court of Appeal came down very, very, very clear on the matter that, look, Abaribe, look, you have been served the notice of allegation. In his own case, he has even been served. You have been given a certain number of days to react. The State House of Assembly proceeded without even waiting for the number of days to expire to go to the second stage, that is Section 188, subsection 3, to activate that second stage by 2/3 now passing a motion that the Chief Justice will set up a panel to investigate you. That, look, rushing to court even before the panel is constituted is an abuse of judicial process, that you don't have a fundamental right of fair hearing to protect at that stage. That the body to hear you is the panel to be constituted by the Chief Judge. So until that body even begin hearing, how could you complain of violation of right to fair hearing? That is the judgment of the Court of Appeal in Abaribe's case. And of course, the court declined jurisdiction and said no court has the jurisdiction to interfere. In this case, it is worse. His Excellency did not even wait to be served. He rushed to court. And that's why we are saying that injunction, purported injunction, I'm sorry to use that language on here, but we have no choice. It's an abuse of judicial process. Okay. So,
but even that abuse, even that abuse, as you have determined it to be now, it still does hold everything, doesn't it? Because no panel can be convened now if indeed the Honorable Chief Judge of Ondo State himself has been restrained by the suit that Ebonolu Onogorua SAN has filed on behalf of the embattled deputy governor. But let me come back to...
Sorry. Let me correct an impression here. Sorry.
Sure.
Number one, it was not the suit filed by Mwade Gurua. It was another suit filed entirely in another court. He was just doing forum shopping. However, Mr. Yori, please let me clarify this for the benefits of Nigeria. If you have a high court judge or a federal high court judge, high court is high court, whether federal or state, somewhere given a purported injunction, and you have the apex court in similar situations saying such kind of injunction is a nullity, which one would the chief judge obey if he has no personal interest in the matter? When we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
Okay. All right. Let me now come back to studio, because this is quite interesting. Most of us are observing all of this, knowing that at this stage, it's become a legal joust.
Exactly. My impression is that this is a political fight.
Yes. I beg your pardon, sir. Just before you go on, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Mr. George Inekeja has called in. Mr. George, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes. Please.
Yes, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for calling in. Please make it as brief as you can, because you can see that we're settled down for... we need to give the two councils.
Uncle Yori, the Ondo State House of Assembly members should know that they are not talking to children here. Out of all those list of allegations they brought out, which governor or acting governor in Nigeria that doesn't do those things? The truth of the matter is there is a struggle, there is a fight about succession. Who is to succeed the governor? If this deputy governor wanted to do anything funny, the governor was away for more than 3 months on medical treatment. Some other deputy governors will have done all sorts of things to make sure he doesn't come back. I am not there. I don't know what has actually transpired. But the gentleman that is the lawyer to the lawmakers said something. If somebody brings a cutlass and he wants to cut your head, would you wait for him to kill you before you defend yourself?
Okay. I take that point.
If you allow me to just make this point. There's somebody, what is the position of the governor himself on this? And there's somebody in Ondo State politics that I respect so much, Mr. Isaac Kekemeke. Where does he stand in all of this?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. George, for calling in. Please.
Yes, I was saying that this is a political fight, a struggle that is being given a litigation coloration and is being brought to the doorstep of the judiciary to stonewall a possible impeachment. I don't think that the judiciary should be used for that purpose, and I have my problems with that. Too often, our courts are dragged into political fight, and lawyers and partisans then say they have a right of action, they have a cause of action that they want to litigate and all that. So I have a problem with that. I was saying, and I'm still saying, that broadly speaking, the issue of principle here is that, look, there is a route under Section 188 of the Constitution. That route says that 7 days, if you receive a notice, the Speaker will serve it on the holder of the office, be he governor or deputy governor in this case, within 14 days, whether a response is given to that or not, a vote is taken. If 2/3 passes, the matter then goes to the chief judge of the state within 7 days, and then a panel is set up within 3 months after the report comes in. If the report says no misconduct has been committed, the matter ends there. If it says that misconduct is proven, then the person is impeached. That is the process. And so, if at the tail end, the process is not followed, the holder of the office has a recourse, as in Inokoju and Adeleke, to have him restored back to power. But I want to proceed further to say that even if this is about succession, as the intervener who called I just said, but there are examples that are banned everywhere. Who tells you that you have to be an equal bent to be able to succeed the person you want to succeed? Tinubu was not the president now. Was he an equal bent? Was he a vice president? He became a president. And many incumbents have been defeated in elections. Even in the last election. So what's this point about? I'm more concerned. That's why I'm saying I don't want to go into all those things. What are the broad principles here? The second one is the federalist principle, which is very dear to me. You are a deputy governor of a state. You have a state high court. You are suing everybody in that state, including the chief judge of the state, and you are taking them to a federal government court.
And in Abuja.
That offends my federalist principle.
Okay.
It offends my federalist principle. And I know that in many respects, this permits a land dispute arises in Lagos, adversaries of those who are the owners of the land or those people they want to rob the land from will write a petition to the IGP. Then they will ask them to be coming to the police headquarters over a land in Lagos. There's a problem with that. And so, for me, on those two broad issues, I can see a problem here. If you have a problem with the House of Assembly and you want to look at what the law says, look at what the law permits. But some people may say that, no, but all that either foul means or right means is okay, just to ensure that I'm not impeached. So that's sufficient for me. So the third issue of principle that I want to raise here is that are political parties working? Even at the level of the student movement, when we're in the student union, and we feed our members to occupy student union offices, we have core organization controlling the student union, left-leaning. Some are not left-leaning, where we will decide all the issues, those to be fielded. Who will be responsible to us? If there's a crisis in that front organization, in that student union, we bring them in, rein them in, and resolve the dispute. So what's the party in Ondo State doing? What's their political party doing? Because we are not their political party. That shows that your political party is not working.
Well, Mr. Emodamori,
and there are other issues or principles that we can discuss. Look, in 1962, when there was a crisis in Western region, before the thing blew out and we had the case of Akeredolu in court and all that, I went to the Privy Council. There were attempts within the party AG to resolve this dispute. Go and resign. Don't do this and all that. When it failed, they moved to the parliament. Western regional crisis. And there the parliament couldn't meet before the matter then blew over. So this matter before it will come to the public domain, and then, because while they are doing this, the issue of governance in those states.
We're suffering.
We're suffering.
You know, we've seen it there. Mr. Ayodeji, calling in from Igbokoda. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, thank you for calling. Go ahead quickly, please.
Okay, thank you. As a matter of fact, we have seen these allegations in the public domain. I mean, we've been seeing the letters fly around from one place to another. What is expected of someone in the position of a deputy governor of a state like ours? We expect him to go and answer to those allegations. Sponsoring protests, sponsoring media works, and all that is not the solution to all these problems. You have been alleged of wrongdoing, then you go and clear yourself. As a matter of fact, when you look at those allegations, you will see allegations bordering on money spent and misappropriated. This is our collective money in Ondo State. So he should go. Yes, let him go and answer to those allegations. It is very important that he does that. And we have also held at the side of all these allegations, how meetings were held when the governor was not around, how some people believe that the governor will never return. So all these things are so also moral burden on the deputy governor. Let him go ahead and answer those allegations instead of now coming to sponsor protests in the state, instead of threatening to turn the state into a war zone. We will not take that in those states. Okay. We are people of dignity. We should go and answer those allegations and clear himself.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate it, and also the fact that you kept it brief. So, Mr. Emodamori, first of all, how do you react to the line that this is really a political fight and that all parties are bringing the judiciary into it as opposed to trying to settle it politically? There will be charges against the governor. You explained that one to us. I don't know. I don't know. This whole matter, how do you see it? It is clearly a political dogfight.
There is no doubt that an impeachment proceeding has to be a political issue. It's a political fight. What matters is whether you play your politics according to the law. And the motive for starting such political fight, if you ask me without sentiment, is irrelevant. What is important is whether the officer
because I have very few minutes. I've got something like 2 or 3 more minutes, but I just wanted to say that, look, things must be based on something. I think you lawyers have said in a different context that something else, you can't put something on nothing.
Let me clear that.
For example, no, sorry, sir. I'm really very sorry, sir. Forgive me. This whole matter about monies spent, inappropriately, a bulletproof car having been purchased and all of that. There are those who are saying that those things don't even exist. They might be on words on paper, but I don't think, I think it has been said that you can't even point to any vehicle that is the bulletproof car that is being spoken about. And so this leads people to call it a plot, never mind it being a plan to remove the governor.
Thanks for asking that question. First, let me clarify this aspect of the governor. I don't know where the governor's interest lies, but then this is a legislative process commenced by members of the State House of Assembly. So I think it is an insult for anybody to say that they have been dictated to by the governor. That is an insult. Then, because the governor himself could be questioned, could be investigated, and could be impeached if he commits impeachable offenses. Now, for the benefit of Nigerians, just let me quickly, therefore, just touch a few of the allegations.
Very briefly, in about 1 minute, plees. In about 1 minute.
Yes, allegation number 5 is that the deputy governor collected 4,685,000 naira to travel on specific date, and he did not travel. Allegation number 7, for instance, is that he collected 10,548,560 naira to buy automatic transmission bus for his SUV, and that he didn't buy it. Allegation number 8, for instance, is that he collected 2.6 million naira to travel to fuel his car to Ondo, and that is outrageous in a country where you are struggling to pay 30,000 naira minimum wage. Allegation number 10, for instance, of course, you have number 9, that he publicly inflicted bodily harm on his wife. I don't want to touch on that for any reason. Number 10, 500 million naira allegedly misappropriated when he was the deputy governor belonging to local government. Are you saying these things are not what? No. Allegation number 11, this is important, that the deputy governor in connivance with somebody else who was the commissioner for local government at Chimchesa at the material time collected a total of about 200 million from people who wanted to be upgraded as obas. These are high-sounding allegations that, of course, we ought to allow them to be. There are 100 million allegations there. There are some other 150 million allegations there. These are realms of allegation. But then, whatever the motive, personally, I've been one of the greatest advocates of, accountability and transparency. I've sued the same Ondo State government under the Freedom of Information Act, asking for 3 years record of local government disbursement.
Well, we're going to have to leave it there. I think you have achieved the objective, which is to share with us some of those previous allegations. What we can do with them is a totally different case, but at least you've shared with the public. And that doesn't take from the fact you yourself have considered that, yeah, it is a political fight, any way you look at it. But there is also the point of view that should the judiciary be dragged into this, maybe there are those who will say, but how else do you want to do it?
But my client never went to court. It was His Excellency that went to court. So my client never dragged the judiciary. It was the other party that dragged the judiciary.
Okay, your client being the State House of Assembly.
Never went to court.
All right. Thank you very much.
But somebody had multiple suits all across the country. Forum shopping.
I want to appreciate you, Mr. Femi Emodamori, Counsel for the Ondo State House of Assembly, for joining our program today. Mr. Ogunye, I want to also thank you. You declined to join into the fray with any specifics.
It's called the last hope of the common man. It's not called the first hope. Meaning that the judiciary has its own problems already. Don't go there and inundate the place.
Which is what you think. Which is what you think is going on right now.
Yes.
We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you, as always, Mr. G.T. Ogunye, for giving us the balance for this, so that we can sort of see it and understand it from both sides. Okay. Thank you very much. That's Mr. G.T. Ogunye, constitutional lawyer, and we also heard before then Mr. Emodamori, who is the counsel to the Ondo State House of Assembly. That's as much as we can take on this particular matter. It's an ongoing matter. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of This Morning. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
It's the Premier League all on DSTV. All the goals, all the clashes, all the moments. all of Rashford, Salah, and Saka. All in the language of your choice, all in HD. Available on all these bouquets to choose from. To watch on all these devices, stay connected for all the action. Get DSTV with an HD decoder plus dish plus 1 month confirmed for 18,500 naira. It's the Premier League, all on DSTV.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Do you struggle with having an active and healthy lifestyle due to your busy schedule? Do you find it's difficult to make it to the gym? You want to improve your overall health, but don't know where and how to start? Medical experts agree that walking, running, and jogging are amongst the best ways to stay fit and enjoy a great active and healthy lifestyle. What if there was a convenient and affordable way to improve your health, improve your mood, and lose weight right in your own home? Introducing the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill. The compact foldable treadmill that makes being active and losing weight fast and easy. Just unfold it and walk, jog, or run while you watch your favorite programs on TV. And when you're done, just fold it and store it away. Now that's convenience. The secret is its advanced design that houses a 1 horsepower motor that is twice the size of most treadmills, packed into a nice compact unit, powering every step you take. You get the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill System complete with a rugged commercial-grade ultra-durable traction belt, large LCD multifunctional display that displays speed, time, distance, calories, and has 12 different exercise programs, as well as a magnetic safety key for added security.
The SportX treadmill has really helped me get back in shape after childbirth. I love it because it's compact and can fit anywhere in the house. And when I'm done, I fold and put it away. Easy peasy.
This is the best piece of equipment for people like me who want to stay active without leaving the home. I simply unfold it and use it while I watch my favorite program on TV.
Joining the gym can cost an absolute fortune, and you could be paying up to 600,000 naira in annual gym fees. Get the SportX treadmill to save the cost and work out from the convenience of your home. You could pay 500,000 naira for a treadmill like this, but you can get the SportX treadmill for not 400,000 naira, not even 300,000 naira. Order right now and get this for just 294,500 naira only. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you get the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill delivered to you for free, wherever you are in Nigeria. The SportX Compact Digital Treadmill comes with ShopX 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied with the treadmill, send it back for a full refund. But hurry, limited stock available. So, call the number on your screen now or visit our website to place your order while stock lasts. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Hello again, and thank you for staying with us on TVC News. This hour we begin in Abuja, where the Nigeria Union of Teachers has called on President Bola Tinubu to activate the teacher policy reforms of the past administration. The president of the union made the appeal at this year's World Teachers' Day ministerial press briefing to reel out programs lined up to celebrate the day. He says the implementation of the policy will help immensely in drafting in the best brains into the teaching profession. Helen Osamede Akins has more.
A meeting between the chairman of the 6 area councils, officials of Nalgi, and the minister of the FCT is on Wiki. It is to tackle unresolved issues which had prompted the FCT wing of the Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, to embark on an indefinite strike on September 11th. The issues include non-payment of 40% peculiar allowances, non-payment of 25 months arrears of the 2019 approved national minimum wage, and the non-release of promotion letters to some beneficiaries. The National Union of Local Government Employees is standing behind the teachers and is raring to embark on a strike on October the 2nd in solidarity with the primary school teachers. They have grievances of their own as a result of disagreements over peculiar allowances and deductions due to local government employees. The meeting initially went into a closed-door session where it seemed issues were ironed out and the way forward plotted. FCT Minister Nyesom Wike informed journalists on coming out of the meeting that a committee had been set up to resolve the issues within 2 weeks, expressing confidence that Norgay should be satisfied with the arrangements put on ground.
We believe that Norgay is satisfied with the arrangement put on ground to resolving these issues. Not theoretical, but being practical. And we believe that in the next 48 hours, Norgay should do the needful for the interests of the FCT. And we believe in them that they want the development of the FCT.
On his part, the Mandate Secretary, FCT Area Council Services Secretariat, explains that the issues that brought about this impasse had been lingering from as far back as 2006.
Issue just border around the 40% peculiar allowance, hazard allowance, and other deductions that Norgay is actually putting for, and some of these issues range as far back as 2006. So what happened today was basically to understand what these issues are and what are the challenges the area council are actually facing.
It is hoped that the looming nationwide strike, organized by NLC and TUC, set to take off by October 2nd, will not be a setback to agreements already reached at this meeting.
I apologize for that mix-up. That report that we just saw now was an intervention by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, who was weighing in the crisis.